Which eucalypt is the ultimate survivor? Corymbia opaca. This tree grows in the most stunning of locations. Vivid colours paint endless, wide-open expanses of rolling red sand dunes, which are framed by dramatic rocky mountains, while ancient dry riverbeds silently snake their way through the vastness. To survive here, a place known for its absolute extremes of temperature, dusty soils, and scorching fires, you have to be the toughest. And the desert bloodwood is the toughest. This tree's range covers a huge area of the continent. It stretches from the far west of Queensland, the Channel Country, into the Northern Territory and over into the dry, dusty deserts of Western Australia. It seems to have successfully adapted to our harshest environments. And by chance, these environments cover a vast area of the continent, making it a very successful eucalypt. Eucalypt? But the tree's name is Corymbia opaca. How could it be a eucalypt? All right. This might blow your mind. We need to have a short grammar lesson now about the words eucalypt and eucalyptus. Eucalyptus, with a capital E, is a noun, and it's specifically referring to a species of plant. Eucalypt, with a small e, is an adjective. It's describing a group of plants which kind of just look the same. So knowing that, there's actually 3 defined genuses of plants which all come under the broad term eucalypt. Lowercase e. Eucalyptus, capital E, has 750 species. Angophora has about 10 species, and Corymbia has more than 90 species. They are all considered eucalypts, small e, but only a small set of them are part of the genus Eucalyptus, capital E. The actual differences between Corymbia and Eucalyptus are quite small, but in general terms, Corymbia usually has bark shedding or breaking up into small pieces, while Eucalyptus has bark shedding into long ribbons or long fibers. Corymbia usually has urn-shaped fruits, like an urn, while Eucalyptus usually doesn't, but sometimes it does. Corymbia has terminal flowers, which are quite showy, while Eucalyptus generally doesn't have terminal flowers and are not quite as showy. And there's about 10 other really small differences that, when you talk about them, have to be qualified by using the word usually. Sometimes the differences are so small, it takes years of dedicated work to find them. One of those differences that really sets this tree apart in my mind is its resilience to fire. Just like the heat and dryness, fire is a constant part of these open, grassy landscapes. Plants and animals alike have to be prepared for fire, and as a result, a broad range of adaptations have come about. Animals have a bit of a luxury when it comes to dealing with fire, because in many cases, they can simply run, hop, dig, or fly out of the fire's path. But trees, like the desert bloodwood, are fixed in place. So what do you think their adaptations are? Do they use their sword attack, water power, wind speed, wizard magic, rainbow friend, or armor? Armor it is! Thick, flaky bark covers this tree, so that when a fire does come along, the tightly woven fibers and thickness of that bark insulate the sensitive tissue below. On that living tissue below the bark are specialized structures called epicormic buds, and they lie dormant until there's a fire. Epicormic buds are places where new growth can spring from straight after the fire. And holy smokes, do they go boom! Show me that sunshine! Not to be outdone by the bark and epicormic buds, The seeds and gum nuts of this tree have their own special way of dealing with fire. The desert bloodwood keeps its gum nuts high out of the fire zone, protecting the sensitive seeds inside. By the time the peak of the fire has passed, the gum nuts release the seeds onto the clear earth, giving them an advantage in the newly cleared soil. You might wonder why the tree has these two very different ways of dealing with fire: the armor defense and the seed sprinkling. It's hard to say, but you can think of it maybe like this. The bark and epicomic buds ensure the survival of the individual, whereas the seeds are important for the survival of the species. But what else could this tree be good at? Food. This one is a bush coconut. For more than 50,000 years, the Aboriginal people, the custodians and owners of this land, have survived by eating these apple-sized woody treats. They are actually insect galls, which are a growth caused when the coconut moth lays its egg on the tree. Inside the bush coconut is the larvae of the moth. Bush coconuts contain the larvae, which is edible. Delicious. As well as a layer of white flesh covering the inside of the bush coconut, which is also edible. Sap? Bloodwood? Well, that's referring to its sap. It's used by the Aboriginal people as a medicine. Sore eyes, wounds, burns, and cuts were all treated with its strong antiseptic qualities. Whew, man, this tree, so much. The desert bloodwood lives in the most remote parts of our harshest deserts. This tree is an absolute powerhouse of survival tactics, but also a place to find food and medicine. Personally, this is my favourite eucalypt, and you better believe that I am one massive tree nerd. I'm also Steve from the Tree Projects, and you keep on euching. Biggie! Little D! So it's 2020, and we at the Tree Projects here are going to be releasing a range of eucalypt media all throughout the year. What you can do is have a think about your favourite eucalypts and enter it into the Eucalypt of the Year 2020, thanks to Eucalypt Australia. Also, there's 2 links you can also click and a subscribe button as well. So, yeah, click them.